wherever you are listening or watching Radio Afinju. The time is 9 a.m.
Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfínjú. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfínjú. Rédíò. Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfínjú. Lórí WhatsApp. Àfínjú. Instagram. Àfínjú. Facebook. Àfínjú. Lórí X. Àfínjú. Lórí YouTube. Àfínjú. Lórí TikTok. Àfínjú. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfínjú. Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfínjú. Rédíò. Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú.
Stay informed with news on Radio Afinju.
A beautiful morning to you this beautiful Wednesday. Good morning. How are you doing and how was your night? I hope you had a pleasant night and I hope you are already, if you are on your way to work and if you're still at home, you're welcome to the Dailies on Radio Afinju. Today, Wednesday, being the 15th of October 2025. And I say you're welcome once again to the Dailies on Radio Afinju, where we bring you the news making the front pages of our national dailies to your hearings. And we are broadcasting live in Osogbo, Osun State. Do not forget to follow Radio Afinju on our social media platforms at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, all at Radio Afinju, so that you keep up and listen to more fantastic and amazing programs that will come your way today. And my name is Tolulope Awoyale. Also, you can listen to Radio Afinju on our website at www.afinjufm.com. And like I said, this is the Dailies on Radio Afinju, bringing you the news making the front pages of our national dailies to your hearings. And with me this morning, I have the Nation newspaper, I have the Nigerian Tribune, I have Vanguard newspaper, and also the Punch newspaper. But I'll bring you the headlines, the stories taking the front pages of this newspaper before we go on a short break. And I'm starting strong with the Nation newspaper. The banner headline here reads, "Mba joining APC, not out of fear, but of prosperity." And the rider under it says, "Carnival-like reception for Enugu State Governor, elected appointed officials into ruling party." Still on the Nation newspaper this morning, PDP chairman legal advisor clash in court. And the rider under it says, "Party shift 103rd NEC meeting." And the news can be found on the page 3 of the Nation newspaper this morning. Credit in March not mandatory for art in new admission policy. And the news is also found on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. Governor Oyebanji is APC's consensus candidate in 80. That is also on the page 3 of the Nation newspaper this morning. Senate Electoral Act Amendment Bill for passage by December. And that is on the page 2 of the Nation newspaper this morning. And lastly, on the Nation, existing revenue formula outdated, says RMAFC chairman. And that is on the page 4 of the Nation newspaper this morning. And now moving on to Nigerian Tribune, the banner headline here says, "PDP suffers multiple losses in Enugu, Bauchi and Kaduna." The rider under it says, "Enugu government defect to APC." Bauchi Senator three Kaduna reps leave party. Damagum and legal advisor clash in court, and can be found on the page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Federal government mathematics drops mathematics as requirement for admission of arts students, and that is also on the page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Going into the health sector, brain disorder kills 11 million yearly and affect 40% of global population, and that is coming from WHO, and it is found on the page 19 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Nigeria secures Shell's $2 billion offshore gas project, and that can be found on the page 19 of the Nigerian Tribune. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, IMF raises Nigeria's 2025 growth forecast to 3.9% and projects 4.2% in 2026. And that is also on the page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Lastly, ASU strike representative speaker to chairman committee to reconcile federal government and varsity workers. And that's on the page 20 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Now moving on to Vanguard newspaper, the banner headline also reads, illegal financial outflows worsening Nigerians' revenue problem, coming from IMF. And the writer says promises renewed focus on tracing such flows to plug fiscal leakages. Upgrades Nigerians' 2025 economic growth forecast to 3.9%. Another writer says cites stronger domestic fundamentals and calls for credible fiscal monetary policies. Downgrades global economic growth forecast to 2.8%. And that can be found on the page 14 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Moving to the top part of the Vanguard newspaper, why I dumped PDP for APC, and this is coming from Mba, and that is on the page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Still on the Vanguard, the factions, we warn Nigerians of APC's one-party game plan, coming from Wabara, and that is on the page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Dangote refinery deploys CNG trucks to distribute petrol at 850 naira per litre. And that is on the page 15 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Lastly, from the Vanguard newspaper, Okpebolo to commissioners always wear Tinubu cap during ESCO meetings. And that is on the page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Lastly, to the Punch newspaper, the banner headline here reads, marketers blame Depot as petrol nears 1,000 naira per litre. The writer says, fresh hike worsens inflation fears and commuters face higher transport fares. Dangote targets 600 million litre supply to stabilize market and calls for government intervention and expert query deregulation claims. And that is on the page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. To the top part of the Punch newspaper, Edo says, alien finance minister flown abroad for treatment, and that is on the page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Court adjourns seat seeking to stop PDP convention, and that's on the page 53 of the Punch newspaper. Strike, National Assembly wades into ASU federal government dispute, and that's on the page 53 also of the Punch newspaper this morning. Acting INEC chair outlines plans for Anambra polls, and that's on the page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Ekiti polls, APC adopt consensus as Oyebanji's rival withdraws, and that's on the page 53 of the Punch newspaper also. And lastly, Tinubu hails Eagles as Osimhen fires Nigeria to World Cup playoff, and that can be found on the page 59 and 62 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And that will be all the news I'll be bringing to you from this newspaper this morning. But we'll go on a short break now, and then when we come back, I'll bring you the news in full. Don't go anywhere. This is still the Dailies on Radio Afidjo. You're welcome back. This is still the Dailies on Radio Afinjo, and I'm starting my news here with the Punch newspaper this morning. Says strike. National Assembly wades into ASU and federal government dispute. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of University to urgently return to the negotiating table to resolve the ongoing dispute that led to the declaration of a 2-week warning strike by the union. The House's resolution followed the adoption of a motion to target urgent public importance moved by the member representing Badagry Federal Constituency of Lagos State, Oluwaseun Wigan, during the plenary. ASU at the Monday began a 2-week warning strike over the federal government's alleged failure to address long-standing issues, including the implementation of the 2009 ASU and federal government agreement, revitalization funding, earned academic allowances, salary structure, and university autonomy. Before the commencement of the strike, the Minister of Education, Dr. Yusuf Sunu, had assured that President Bola Tinubu's administration was in the final stage of talks with ASU to resolve all outstanding matters. Moving the motion, Wigan expressed deep concern over the renewed strike and warning that such industrial actions have historically escalated into prolonged shutdowns that disrupt academic calendars, derail research, and deepen frustration of parents, students, and lecturers alike. The House notes that although ASU had described the strike as a warning one, previous experiences show that these actions often degenerate into extended work stoppages, he said. We are aware that the Nigerian university system remains central to national development, innovation, and human capital growth, and that any disruption weakens the country's competitiveness, scientific advancement, and youth productivity. He added that education is consistently recognized under the Section 18 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, as a key driver of social and technological process, stressing that both federal government and university unions share a collective duty to protect its continuity and quality. Wigan also lamented that repeated strikes in the tertiary education sector have resulted in student dropouts, brain drain, and loss of public confidence in the nation's university system, and also thereby undermining national stability and Nigeria's long-term development goals. He called for a renewed dialogue anchored on mutual respect, transparency, and good faith, with the legislature serving as a neutral facilitator in the interest of students and the nation. The news is well detailed on the Punch newspaper this morning. Says National Assembly wades into ASU and federal government dispute. Now moving into the economic sector, marketers blame depot as petrol nears 1,000 naira per litre. Amid worsening supply challenges and rising pump prices, petroleum marketers have begun moves to import petrol independently as the commodity moved close to 1,000 naira per litre mark across major cities in the country. Marketers said supply constraints and production glitches at the Dangote Petroleum Refinery sparked fresh pressure in the downstream oil market. The National Publicity Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chinedu Ukadike, confirmed the development in a phone interview with the newsmen on Tuesday. According to him, members of the Depot and Petroleum Product Marketers Association of Nigeria are concluding an arrangement to begin petrol importation as part of effort to stabilize retail prices. He stated that petrol prices would soon drop as competition returns to the market if additional competition is brought into the sector. Yes, petrol price is still going to come down because I know that some marketers, especially DAPMAN members, have applied that they are going to import more petrol product. Peradventure, their prices are cheaper than Dangote's. We would have no choice but to patronize them. The essence of this market is that there is no cheaper. If there is cheaper, we will buy. but prices will come down once there is a struggle for the market, Ukadike said. Newsmen also reported that the petrol prices rose from about 865 naira to around 915 naira per litre on Monday. And also checks by a correspondent on Tuesday showed that the pump price of the premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, now sells between 920 naira and 955 naira per litre in many retail outlets, while some stations in Abuja, Sokoto, Lagos charge as high as 1,000 naira per litre depending on the location and also the brand. The news is also well detailed on the Punch newspaper this morning. You want to read more on it? It says marketers blame depot as petrol nears 1,000 naira per litre. Still on the Punch newspaper, now moving to the health sector. Resident doctor renew call for sacked Kogi doctors reinstatement. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has renewed its call on the federal government to reinstate 5 doctors sacked by the management of Federal Teaching Hospital, Lokoja, Kogi State. Correspondent reports that the doctors were allegedly dismissed in October 2024, May, and August 2025 by FTHL management led by former Chief Media Director Dr. Olatunde Alabi for their involvement in union activities against the hospital management. Addressing the press conference in Lokoja on Tuesday, NARD President Dr. Mohammed Sulaiman said the association is saying enough is enough as the sacked doctors have been out of work for over a year. Sulaiman recalled that NARD during its recent 45th annual general meeting gave the federal government a 30-day ultimatum to meet series of outstanding welfare and policy demands affecting its members. Today, the 18th day of the 30th ultimatum that NARD gave the federal government to meet our demands, among which is the reinstatement of 5 doctors sacked at FTH Lokoja. NARD's demand includes the reinstatement of sacked doctors, payment of unpaid promotion and salary arrears dating back to 5 years, unpaid 25 and 35% increment and entitlement, he said. He noted that Nigeria is facing a crisis in the health sector, with a ratio of 1 doctor servicing over 9,000 Nigerians compared to the standard ratio of 1 doctor to 600 people. Suleiman stressed that the federal government must be holistic in its approach to addressing the issues in the health sector. He urged President Bola Tinubu to take urgent action, warning that if the situation is not addressed, it might lead to a national disaster. Suleiman also expressed their NARD's readiness to engage in dialogue with federal government to resolve the issue. And he also emphasized that we need to sack doctors back to reduce workload in the hospitals, and we inform Nigerians about the doctors' plight. NARD is ready to discuss with the federal government to reinstate the sacked doctors. He also stressed that the need for the continuation of the current collective bargaining between the federal government and Nigerian doctors, as well as other health workers, without further delay. And this is from the health sector saying that resident doctors renew call for sacked Kogi doctors reinstatement. Now moving on to the Vanguard newspaper, I'm going straight down to Ekiti State in the world of politics. APC adopts consensus in Ekiti governor's primary election. The All Progressives Congress APC has announced its decision to adopt the consensus mode for the conduct of its forthcoming Ekiti governorship primary election. Felix Moka, the party's national publicity secretary, made the announcement in a statement in Abuja. He said the change from the direct to consensus primary was necessitated by the voluntary withdrawal of one of the two earlier cleared aspirants, Mrs. Tinuke Omolayo. A report says that Omolayo conveyed a decision to withdraw from the contest and endorse Governor Abiodun Oyebanji as a consensus candidate in a letter to the party's leadership. She also expressed her support for any arrangement adopted by the party's leadership in nominating its candidate, also in accordance with the 2022 Electoral Act and its constitution. A decision has been duly transmitted by the party to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Moka said, having satisfied the requirements stipulated under Section 84, subsection 9 and subsection 11 of the Electoral Act of 2022 for consensus mode of primary election, the party's delegate congress will hold on Saturday. He added that its delegate congress appeal would hold on October 26th, while the special nomination congress to ratify the consensus candidate will hold on October 27th. The APC spokesman commended Omolayo for her spirit of sportsmanship and commitment to party unity and progress. He urged all leaders and members and stakeholders of the party in Ekiti State to stand united and work audaciously for its victory in June 2026 governorship election. The news is well detailed on the Vanguard newspaper this morning in Ekiti State, saying that APC adopts consensus in Ekiti governorship primary election. Still on the Vanguard newspaper, I'm going into the economic sector. Illegal financial flows out of Nigeria is worsening country's revenue problem, coming from IMF. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) has decried illicit financial flows (IFF) out of Nigeria and noting that it was contributing to the worsening revenue problem of the country. The managing director of the global institution, Ms. Kristalina Giova, who stated this at the ongoing 2025 annual meetings of the IMF and World Bank in Washington, D.C., promised renewed focus on tracing such flows to plug fiscal leakages. According to her, she said, "We believe that countries like Nigeria, the IMF's renewed focus on tracing illicit financial flows could provide a blueprint for plugging the fiscal leakages that have long undermined revenue generations and sustainable growth." Giovanna warned that growing threat of illicit financial flows and the phenomenon, which she said had become a major factor undermining the economic and financial stability of nations across the globe. According to her, illicit financial flows, which include stolen public funds, proceed from criminal activities and untraceable digital transactions, continue to erode governance system, drain public resources, and cripple developmental efforts, and also especially in developing economies. In a recent policy briefing, IMF officials had noted that IFFs now come in multiple dimensions, and these range from outright embezzlement of taxpayers' money to private funds channeled into illegal ventures that threaten national welfare. The digital economy, they added, had further complicated the challenges with cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, providing an avenue for anonymous financial transaction. Well, the news is well detailed on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, saying illegal financial flows out of Nigeria is worsening country's revenue problem, coming from IMF. Still on the Vanguard newspaper and going into the education sector, mathematics is no longer compulsory for art students, says federal government. The federal government has approved a comprehensive reform of admission entry requirement for all tertiary institutions in Nigeria, introducing a more flexible and inclusive framework to expand access to higher education. The development followed the approval of national guidelines for entry requirement into tertiary institutions in Nigeria, according to a statement issued by Boriowo Folashade, Director of Press and Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Education. The statement explained that the new policy championed by the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, sought to make access to tertiary education and empower Nigerian youth in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The policy represents a major stride in promoting inclusivity and driving national development through equitable education opportunity, the ministry stated. Dr. Alausa said the reform became necessary after years of restrictive admission requirement that has left many qualified candidates without placement despite meeting academic expectations. According to him, while over 2 million candidates sit for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME, annually only about 700,000 secure admission, a gap he attributed to outdated and rigid entry rules rather than lack of academic ability. This imbalance must give way to fairness and opportunity. Our goal is to ensure that capable and deserving candidates are not denied education just because of obsolete policies. The new national guidelines update admission requirement across universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, and innovative enterprise academic REAs while maintaining academic standards. And this is coming from the federal government saying mathematics is no longer compulsory for art candidates. Still on the Vanguard newspaper, I'm going to the world of politics, and this is coming from Wabara saying, "We warned Nigerians of APC's one-party game plan." Former Senate President and Chairman Board of Trustees of the main opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP), Senator Aldofos Wabara, had said that the defection of PDP governors to the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) has confirmed his earlier warning that the APC had an agenda of pushing Nigeria into a one-party state. Wabara, who was reacting to the latest defection of Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State and the rumored planned defection of his Bayelsa counterpart, Doye Diri, to the APC, accused the national ruling party of orchestrating a gale of defection that has hit various opposition parties. Reiterating his earlier warning to one-party state is a prelude autocracy and retrogression, the former Senate president accused the APC of stifling democracy in Nigeria. He regretted that Nigerian democracy, which has thrived under the PDP, is being strangulated under the watch of the ruling APC. Wabara said defections were not because the APC is a better platform, but is because it has ambushed democracy. He also said that he saw this coming and raised the alarm, but it was ignored. This is not a democracy we jealously nurtured and guarded. This is a corrupted version of democracy. The ruling APC believes in intimidation and opposition into submission. No democracy has ever survived without the opposition. APC is killing Nigeria's democracy by muzzling the opposition, and the refusal to carry out electoral reforms that could guarantee free and credible polls is what is making some of the opposition members defect. This is more of a coerced defection. The former Senate president said the ruling party has not demonstrated any capacity to navigate Nigeria out of the woods. And this is coming from Wabara saying that he warned Nigerians of APC one-party game plan. I'm moving to Nigerian Tribune now, but we'll go on a short break, and then when we come back, we'll continue bringing you the stories making the front pages of our national dailies. Don't go anywhere. This is still the Dailies on Radio Afinju.
Life no get duplicate.
Na so ẹ̀mí ò láàárọ̀ o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Tẹ́ jẹ́jẹ́ o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o. Make you take am easy.
Na so o.
Radio Afinju says if you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink.
Tẹ́ jẹ́jẹ́ o.
Make you take am easy.
Na so o.
This awareness is brought to you by Radio Afinju.
Maka akụkọ okwu gbasara ndọrọndọrọ ọchịchị, egwu ma ọ bụ ihe na-eme na Naịjirịa ma ọ bụ ihe na-eme na mba ofesi, omenani, mgbasa ozi, ihe ndị a niile dị na Radio Afinju. N'eziokwu, Radio Afinju bụ nke izizi na radio stations na Osun State. Radio Afinju bụ amaala na ịgbasa ozi.
For the best music,
show me capital business, show me character dickiness,
season sport presentation,
round 10 begins. If they complete this round,
balanced and objective news reportage, and all-round entertainment. Listen to the jewel of the pack of radios in this class. Tune in to Radio Afinju right here in Osogbo, Osun State.
For an ultimate entertainment experience. An all-round gist with your spicy honey drops. Don't miss the fun, excitement, and updates on Afinju Arena. Only on Radio Afinju.
Apology for what team say, don't play, or you will learn.
Na my hustle be this. Na here I dey see my daily urgent 2k o. Ìhàyín ni mo ti ń rí ẹgbẹ̀rún méjì náírà pàjáwìrì tèmi lójoojúmọ́. On this program, we will bring people from different business backgrounds to come tell their stories and share insights with us. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́, oníṣòwò, ẹ gbáradì. Ètò ti kàn yín ní rédíò Àfínjú. Bó o lẹ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀? Kí ni àwọn tójú yín rí? Kí lẹ̀ ń tà gangan? Bó o lẹ sì ti ń tà? My hustle will give you a direct insight into the business world. Join Aderonke Lawal, Ayoka Ọmọ Àkànmú on my hustle every Wednesday 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Radio Afinju to have your minds blown. Ẹ lè tẹ̀lé wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì abánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ wa pátápátá ní Radio Afinju. My hustle, my urgent 2k.
For up-to-date tori wey no get filter.
Politics matter.
Sport.
Ya lo hace. Pierna derecha, directo al arco. ¡Golazo! ¡Golazo!
Culture. Naija and obodo oyibo music. Advertisement wey go reach your customer home and abroad.
This is incredible.
Na on top Radio Afinju you go hear am.
You can't be serious.
Na so. Radio Afinju be baba for all radio stations wey dey Osogbo, Osun State. Radio Afinju na better level for broadcasting.
Alrighty then.
Idan kana neman labarin da ya cika, maganan siyasa,
akwai lokacin da sai kawo telecommunication,
wakokin zamani na kasa da na kasan waje, al'ada. Idan kana so ka tsaya ko ka tsaya, duka zaka samu a Radio Afinju. Kwarai da gaske, Radio Afinju ne shugaban radio a nan Osogbo, Osun State. Radio Afinju in tsarin yana da labari mai inganci da kyau. Radio Afinju, an impeccable dimension to broadcasting.
Everybody has a day and the sun stays away.
You're welcome back, and this is still the dailies on Radio Afiju, and I'm bringing you the news making the front pages of our national dailies to you. And I'm on the Tribune newspaper now, moving down to Rivers State. Fubara appoints new secretary to Rivers government. The Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has appointed Benito Anabraba to the new secretary of the state government. It replaces the former SSG Dr. Tammy Dangogo, who was appointed in 2023 when Fubara became governor. The SSG, who hails from Akoko Toru local government area of the state, same as Dangogo, is the son of Chief Ferdinand Anabraba, chairman of the Rivers Elders Forum and strong ally of the Federal Capital Territory Minister in Wike. He has been very visible in recent efforts to the broker existing peace and rivers, and also hosting the last meeting between Governor Fubara, the FCT minister, and some of the members of the State of Assembly. The new SSG is a two-term former member of the Assembly and has also served as a commissioner under Governor Fubara. The SSG's appointment was contained in a statement by Sir Siriwo, Permanent Secretary and State Ministry Information and Communication. It was also gathered that the decision to drop the former SSG may not be unconnected with his role in the political impasse which rocked the state between late 2023 and 2025. The news is well detailed on the Tribune newspaper this morning. You want to read more? It says, Fubara appoints new secretary to Rivers government. Still on the Nigerian Tribune and still in the world of politics. This is coming from Makinde. Says, defection is not peculiar to PDP. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde said that governors leaving the People's Democratic Party (PDP) were free to do so, adding that the party would not make worrying about defection a thing of priority. Makinde argued that the defection by the politicians were not peculiar to the PDP, just as he added that so long as membership of the party was voluntary, people also should be allowed to go whenever they choose to defect. Speaking in Abuja at the inauguration of the Transportation Subcommittee of National Convention of the party to be held in Ibadan on November 15, the governor said the PDP was only interested in the welfare of Nigerians and not about the individuals leaving the party. We are not concerned, we are not bothered, because the ultimate decider here will be the Nigerian people. The only time I will be concerned and the only time we will be concerned as a party is when we see hunger defect from ordinary people on the street join APC. Then that's the time we will be concerned, he stated. The governor, who is a chairman of the committee, explained that the priority of committed members of the party was to build PDP as solid as enough to defect the All Progressives Congress in 2027. A project, he said, will be fully defined by the outcome of the Ibadan convention. He promised that Ibadan would be the best organized PDP convention and would produce a leadership that would lead the party to success in 2027. He stressed that it should be held responsible if they do not have one of the best national conventions in the history of PDP. He also dismissed claims that he fought to have the conversations in Ibadan with people because of his own political ambition, insisting that PDP must be healthy first as a party before any serious member will be thinking about personal ambitions. He also added that all the effort right now, except you're saying that no, forget about a party, just focus on ambition. So nobody is set to set an agenda for him. Asked to assess the performance of the APC since 2023 in view of the series of challenges confronting the country, including insecurity, Makinde replied that making assessment or comparisons has never been his style. However, the governor said Nigerians are not blind and they could see. The news is well detailed on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. It says defection is not peculiar to PDP, and this is coming from Seyi Makinde. are moving to the Nation newspaper, and I'm still in the world of politics, and this is coming from Mba saying, joining APC not out of fear, but out of prosperity. The All Progressives Congress APC deepened its inroads into the southeast yesterday with the defection of Enugu State Governor Peter Ndubuisi Mba into its fold. The party rolled out a red carpet to welcome Mba, the third APC governor in the 5 geopolitical zone. From Vice President Kashim Shettima, who led the reception, to National Chairman Yilwatda and Senate President Godswill Akpabio, House Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, Progressives Governors Forum Chairman Hope Uzodinma, top party leaders and former governor turned out to be a huge crowd to receive Mba and his team. Governor Mba said his defection was not driven by fear but by a desire to lead Enugu and its people towards prosperity and align with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's reform agenda. He said, "We are not moving out of a place of resentment or fear. We are confident of our future and we have no axe to grind, no personal point to make, but fairness, respect, and integrity must guide our choices for that future to be ours." Describing President Tinubu as a partner in purpose and a leader with the courage to make tough choices for lasting prosperity, Mba said his administration's development philosophy aligns with the federal government's renewed hope agenda. And also earlier in the town hall meeting, Mba formally announced his defection before national and local APC officials, elected representatives, and political appointees. APC National Secretary Senator Ajibola Bashiru, Deputy National Chairman Alhaji Ali Dalori, and his southern counterpart Chief Emma Eneku were present, and the main event followed in the afternoon where Shettima, Yilwatda, and other leaders formally received the governor. The news is well detailed on the Nation newspaper this morning. You want to read more? It says, joining APC not out of fear but for prosperity. Still on the Nation newspaper, moving on to my last story for this morning. Tinubu hails Eagles' resilience toward World Cup 2025 qualification. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has congratulated the Super Eagles for their emphatic 4-0 victory over the Cheetahs of Benin Republic, describing the performance as a powerful reminder of Nigerians' enduring football spirit and national pride. In a statement issued by Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, the president commended the players for their hunger, passion, and determination during the World Cup qualifying match in Uyo. According to the president, the team's dominant display rekindled optimism among Nigerians and strengthened belief in the Super Eagles qualification campaign for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. While the job is not yet still complete, I join millions of Nigerian football fans in wishing our team very success in the playoff, the president said. The mood across the country reflects a shared belief that Nigeria deserves a place in the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which Canada, Mexico, and the United States will host, he said. President Tinubu assured the players and coaching crew of the federal government's full support as they continue their qualification journey. And he also added that, as your president, I assure you and the new coaching crew of the federal government support as you strive to secure your place at the tournament. Nigerians everywhere believe in you, and I do too. We look forward to seeing you fly our flag proudly on the world stage. The news is also on the Nation newspaper this morning. Says Tinubu hails Eagles' resilience toward World Cup 2026 qualification. And that will be all the news I'll be bringing to you this morning. Do not forget to follow Radio Afinju on our social media platforms at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, all at Radio Afinju. You can also listen to us on our website at www.afinjufm.com and also on Zeno Radio and on Radio Garden Afinju FM. My name remains Tolulope Awoyale. Till I come your way again next week, Wednesday. Stay blessed, stay humble, stay hydrated, and stay out of trouble. Have a wonderful day.